When I was 18 to 23, which is literally 10 years ago, that when I was 23, I was in a series of unfortunate relationships. Let that be a testimony to somebody. You're in your 20s and your life is raggedy. It ain't about nothing. Girl, for the most part, most of our lives weren't about nothing in our 20s. But listen, I was in my 18 to 20 stage and my life was raggedy as raggedy could be. And I found myself in a series of different relationships where the person I was dating had a girlfriend. Yes, let that sink in your spirit. We don't like to talk about this, but the truth is that many of us, though we vilify the other woman on social media, we vilify the other woman in media and in books. If we're honest, there are many of us who know exactly what it's like to be the other woman. I know this all too well because when I was in college, it's not that I would go after someone whose partner was already in, I didn't go after guys who were already in a relationship, but I would fall for a guy and then find out through snooping or discovering someone out that they had a girlfriend. That should have been the moment when things ended, but because I was in such a space of my own brokenness, of my own pain, of my own insecurity, that wasn't the end, because the attention from half a man was better than attention from no man at all. You see, for the most part, I'm not talking about the women who just don't care if a man is in a relationship or not, who hunt out men who are in relationships. I want to talk to the women who have found themselves settling for less than their morals thinks that they should deserve, because at the end of the day, they are so desperate for connection, they are so desperate for validation, that it doesn't matter the person's circumstance. As a matter of fact, it would be validating for you if that person would choose you. It would say to your low self-esteem, it would say to your insecurities, that because he chose me, then I must be worthy. Because he chose me, then maybe, just maybe, there's not something wrong with me. Maybe I am better than other women. Maybe I am the one who should be chosen when it's all said and done. As most of us do when we're being raggedy and dating other people's men, we have to exchange words, right? Because what they say about how you get them is how you lose them is the same thing. It happens, it's consistent, it's true. They're not lying about that. I'm dating someone else's boyfriend. I managed to get them to break up. Now he's my boyfriend. Now he dating somebody else. It's this vicious cycle. And so instead of attacking the man, what do? We gotta attack the other woman, right? The man is not the issue, it's her. She is the issue. And I cannot tell you how many times I found myself going word for word, back and forth, verbal abuse to verbal abuse with a woman I'd never even met, a woman whose voice I only heard because I called her private and then hung up the phone, then called back to get her together. I used to hate these moments, but I used to low-key love them. I'm just gonna be honest. You can call it the even me. You don't even have to call it the marrying me. I'm not even your pastor tonight. It's hey you, we having girl time. I used to hate love when it was time to go back and forth with a woman, because I knew that we were gonna go back and forth. And honey, when I tell you, when I got finished, I was gonna be talking about her great-grandfather. I was gonna be talking about her degree. I was gonna be talking about her teeth. I was gonna be talking about her edges with no edges myself. I was still gonna handle her because that's what we do. We go back and forth. And there is something about releasing our anger and our tension towards another woman that keeps us from having to deal with ourselves. And yet, never failed that at some point in these various different circumstances and relationships, I would always find the one woman who would not engage. Those were the ones who stuck with me the most. Not the women who would stoop down to the level of disagreement and arguing that was beneath both of us, but the woman who would not engage at all. Because that is the woman that forced me to sit with myself. That is the woman that said, I'm too good for this. I have too much dignity to even be in a situation like this. And they say things like, girl, you can have them, I don't want them. And it's in that moment I had to ask myself, well, why are you fighting for something that is so dishonoring and disrespectful? That idea of having boundaries, that level of boundaries, it was also very enticing to me. I just didn't feel like I could access them.